Hello, everybody. Welcome to Outside the Box, the podcast devoted to supporting Central PA small business. I am your host, Derek Bixler, realtor and digital marketer here in Central PA. Born and raised, I grew up on the Hill in Harrisburg, graduated from high school in Mechanicsburg, went up to Penn College of Technology in Williamsport. Used to be WAC. Now it's Penn College, I think they call it. We called it Penn Tech back in the day, but anybody who's familiar, I've been here working hard ever since, right here in Central PA. A couple announcements before we get into the episode, which is going to be Heather with All In Insulation, and she's going to tell us, which is a great episode actually for today because it's snowing here and all around the country. I guess I keep hearing on Clubhouse that it's snowing in like Texas or like, I guess places where they don't get snow or aren't used to dealing with it. So everybody's saying to pray for all those people that aren't used to the snow. So I guess we're okay because we kind of are used to the snow here. But it's a good topic to be talking about today. Hopefully everybody's snow stays on their roof and isn't dripping down off of their roof, which we'll get into what that means later. But a few announcements before we get into it. Subscribe to our email list at supportcentralpa.com to get all our networking mixer invites, our episode announcements, and exclusive special offers, of which you'll get one from All In at the end. Ask a question in the comments if you have any questions. If we don't see it or we can't get to it during the episode, I will come back or Heather will come back and answer the questions later. Replays are available on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, soon on iTunes and all the audio players, all the places. I was just rattling them off to Heather before the episode. She was like, all right, shut up. I get it. It's everywhere. I'm Agent Derek on Clubhouse. Follow me on Clubhouse if you're not on there. If you are not on there yet, watch the episode from a couple weeks ago. Super, super awesome place to network and build a following and to get real business and network live. I won't get into what that is, but if you're on there, follow me. I'm at Agent Derek on Clubhouse. And right after this episode, if you are on Clubhouse, you can join us Thursdays 1 to 2 for Central PA Small Business Connect. And you can go on there and we're telling about ourselves and networking with other small businesses and building the Central PA small business community on Clubhouse. So we're just starting. This will be our third or fourth one, I believe. And then we'll be starting a club as well. So you can get in on the ground floor and interact with some people every week. You know, there was 1 or 2 the first time. I think we were 5 to 10 the second time. So hopefully we still have that 5 to 10, maybe 10 to 20 this time. I keep seeing more and more people from the Central PA area joining Clubhouse. So I hope to see a lot of people there. It really is fun to interact and network with each other. And now we'll get into the interview and business spotlight with Heather Jones. And you can say your full name that I didn't put in there. I told you if you want to and get into that. But Heather Jones of All In Insulation, and she's going to talk about why insulation is important, why we should care about it, how much does it cost, how does it save us money, and how we should go about if we need to look into fixing our own insulation. And if you're buying or selling a house, it can be really important to check out the insulation, a really overlooked thing, as Heather will explain. So we'll go right into it. Heather, just say hi to everybody and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and personally a little bit about yourself first.
Hi, I'm Heather Stevens Jones, and I own All In Insulation. I actually grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, so this snow here makes me laugh every single time it happens. I grew up where it snows basically 6 months out of the year, and it's always up to your tushy, so it's lots of fun up there. But I do.
So we should feel lucky.
Oh, you're very lucky here. These mountains save us every single time. I've lived here now for 21 amazing years, and I'm very, very blessed. I love Central PA. I think it's a great place to raise a family. We're in the middle of a lot of things to do here, which is really awesome. I have 3 children. I have a 27-year-old son, Eric. He works for our company. I have a 25-year-old daughter who moved back to Erie, which makes me laugh because I spent my whole life trying to run away from there, and she moves there. And then I have a 21-year-old son, Jamie. He's currently serving in the Air Force. He's in the United Kingdom. And so I want to say hi to him because hopefully he's going to watch this.
Could they see this live? Does he have access to that kind of thing?
He has access over there, yes.
It's Eric?
My son, Jamie, is the one in the United Kingdom, yeah.
Hello, Jamie. If you could see this or see it later, do you want to say anything to him? A little shout out or message? You love him, obviously.
I love him very, very much, and keep pushing through, son. keep pushing through. So,
and thank you for your service, obviously.
Yes, definitely. My oldest son, Eric, served in the Marine Corps. So, living 300 miles away from your closest relative besides your kids makes you really, really want to make a difference in the community that you live in. And having them grow up here has just been great. All of the people, our friends here become our family. So that really means a lot to us. I went to Penn State twice, which I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. I have hundreds of cousins. And so I was the first one. There's been a couple after me. So I'm very, very proud of that. I worked in corporate America for 25 years doing purchasing. And one day I just kind of looked around, and not all companies are created equal. And so one day I kind of looked around and I said, your ethics don't really align with my ethics. And at that point in time, I didn't have to work, till 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, working for someone else to raise my kids. They were getting older, and I kind of made the leap into doing this. I was lucky enough, God opens doors, and I would have never, ever dreamed 25 years ago I would have been doing this. I can tell you that even probably 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about insulation. I bought 3 homes and never knew anything about insulation. So it's really, you look at your life and you kind of look at it and you say, how did I get here? It just makes perfect sense. Growing up poor, I didn't know anything about it. And now it's my whole life mission to educate people on the importance of it.
Did you have a bad experience with one of those 3 houses that you bought that made you want to learn about it? Or how did you? All three you had a bad experience with insulation.
So what I find now is, especially in today's market, when I bought and sold my houses, I was young, I was dumb. I didn't have anybody really putting me through the steps of what you need to do when you buy your first home. So when I bought my first home, I got a home inspection. I did that. And not all home inspectors are created equal. There's some home inspections that get done and they might not even say anything about insulation, right? Some of them will say, oh, well, you have R11 insulation. You might want to think about getting that upgraded. Home inspections tend to focus on the high dollar items, which are your roof, your furnace, those types of things, appliances. But really, when you're buying a home or even selling your home, insulation is your number one way of improving your budget. Okay, so I'll give an example of like this. A home inspector will say you have R11. Okay, I have R11, I have something. Well, R11 is like 4 inches. You really need this, R49. Okay, R49 is really, really important.
Write that down right now, guys. We should have said take notes during the episode. Write that down because you're going to want that number later.
Yeah, R49 is really important. And why is it important? Because you see a lot of people building houses right now. Well, a person can build a 3,000 square foot house and insulate it correctly, put R49 in the attic, and their heating and cooling bills will be less than your house that was built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, where there's R11 insulation and you have a 1,200 square foot house and you're paying $300-400 a month to heat or cool your house. And this brand new house, they're paying $100. And so all the brand new houses require, anything being built now in our area requires R49 in the attic. So you might get a home inspection that says, oh, you have R11, you don't know what you have. You might get a home inspection that doesn't give you any information. Or they just will say, look into it. They don't reference anybody. They're not allowed. I get that. But
so you keep saying 11 is, so 49 is the current standard. Is 11 like a kind of a typical kind of what it used to be, or what do you see usually?
It's what I see now in a lot of the houses that I go into that are built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, up into the 80s. And I'm just going to give you an example, right? So this is what I see in houses right now. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but this is old school cellulose insulation. And basically, it might have started out up here but throughout time it's compressed. It's kind of deflated. So yeah, it's in all your little nooks and crannies. It's gross. I don't like it at all. And so we'll go into a house that won't even be coming up to the beam in the attic, and people just don't know. I go into houses all the time where a homeowner has never even popped their head in their attic unless they're maybe putting storage up there. And so it's the one thing where I just feel we don't educate people enough. I hear all the time, well, I got these higher energy efficient bulbs. Well, that's great. You can put 1,000 of those in your house, but that will never save you the amount of money that insulation will. So another thing, and I'm just going to go through some little things that I notice around here. Another thing
Actually,
is,
I want to stop you for one thing. I have a question. You mentioned, so usually it gets compacted and then it's not over the beams. Is that something you want? You want your insulation to be up to the beams or flush with it or over it? Or what's the rule there if somebody wanted to go up in their attic and look at their insulation real quick?
So if you go up in your attic, you see this little chart right here. This is called an attic ruler. So all of your new homes have these attic rulers up in the attic, right? So you see how it goes like R11, R13, R19, R22, 26, 30, 38, 49, right? So when you get to R49, you're like literally almost 17 inches, okay? So you're gonna wanna have at least 17 inches of insulation up there. Now, when I'm talking about that kind of insulation, I'm talking about this type, okay? This is blown in fiberglass insulation, okay? So a lot of times people will say, oh, I can rent the machine at like one of these big box stores and do it myself. Go ahead. You're going to spend a lot of time doing that. I can blow in insulation like that in a couple hours in an attic and be in and out and done. So like the R49 is important because you have almost 17 inches. So that's going to definitely cover up your beams. If you're going to go pretty high up, like if you put it on your leg, it's up past your knee most of the time. A lot of times, even if they have insulation up there, maybe they have some electrical work and things were moved around and they didn't put it back. So that can cause an issue. But yeah.
So new houses, they put those things in new houses?
All brand new houses that are built. But if you're building, this is important, all brand new houses that are built, they have to have these attic rulers in there, and they also have a thing called an attic card. And an attic card is basically saying who insulated the house. They sign off on how much insulation has in the attic, and what company did it, what type of insulation it is, what R value. So any brand new house has that. What I do want to caution people is not all home builders are built equally either. Okay. I often see and there's certain home builders I won't work with at all. I just choose not to. My ethics are important to me, but there's some that are exceptional. When I tell people, if you're building your dream home,
you can mention some exceptional ones if you like. We don't badmouth anybody, but we do mention exceptional ones. I was gonna tell you could maybe we shouldn't, but back when you mentioned inspectors. We won't shout people out, but if anybody out there is buying a home or needs a good inspector, especially if you want to know one that's good, I point the wrong way all the time. One that knows insulation well, hit up Heather in the DMs or me or something. Oh, yeah. We'll hook you up with a good one.
That's the thing about me. You can call me at any point in time. All right. That phone number that's on my truck goes straight to me. That phone number that is on all our advertising goes straight to me. I take a lot of pride in the fact that this is my business. I'm the only female-owned insulation company in this area. I'm family-owned and operated. And, I get majority of my business word of mouth. So I want to make sure that if I'm referring someone, that I know that they're going to do a great job. And I do know some very, very, very good home inspectors. I know some very, very great builders. I will even reference builders that I don't even get to work for if we need be. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. I look at it as I'm helping other people. That's my mission. But the one thing I do want to say is that when we go in, and I see this around here also. So remember I showed you this, right? There are some companies out there that are starting to do insulation on the side, to offset their spring business, right? What I find is you'll have some companies that'll come in and say, oh, we need to remove all of this. We need to remove it. And, because there's some mice droppings in there. And now, mind you, these homeowners never go in their attic. All right. Yes, there's going to be some mice droppings in there. I'm not talking the whole thing's full of mice droppings.
Right.
Yeah, mice droppings, right? But I caution
maybe a snake skin or two or something. Who cares? You never go up there. Who cares?
What I caution people on is, and I see this a lot with elderly, where a company will come in and say, "Oh, you need to remove all this insulation, and you're gonna steal all the cracks, and then we're gonna blow on top of it." Well, the problem is that every time people remove insulation, there's a cost associated with that, right? Because we have to get rid of it. And, it's just a way for people to kind of increase their profits. And I don't like that. My guys that work for me, they know that if you go out and you meet with a homeowner, you are not to oversell anything. That's not what we're here for. You can blow in right on top of that insulation and get it to the R94 or R49 value and remove that extra cost. So we don't really need to do that. There's very few exceptions, like if there was water damage, there's mold. Yes. But to just remove it, to put new on top of it, it's a waste of money. So I tell people not to do that. So basically,
yeah, I'm loving the visual aids, by the way. I love that you have these. It helps. And for me, at least, I love seeing this.
So basically, I live in a constant snow globe. All right. So this is blown in fiberglass insulation, right? This is what we use. It comes in these big, tall packs. They weigh like 20 some pounds a piece. And we chop it up in this huge machine that I have. And we blow it into the attic. And we blow it right on top of the cellulose or whatever insulation is in your attic. I take it and I do a visual aid where I'll put like, oh, here's your R4, here's your R11, here's your, your R21, here's your R49, right? So
is that the most typical type of insulation being used these days? The blown in?
This is blown in, blown in fiberglass. You'll see, remember I talked to you about the upcharges where people are we'll remove it and then we'll put in this special type of insulation, which is cellulose. And it has this special type of chemical and it'll, detract mice and insects and blah, blah, blah. We can do that too. Okay. I can do that too, but there's not a huge substantial upcharge for adding that chemical. The chemical's already in the bags we're chopping up. Anybody can get that. I can get that. Any other insulation company can get it. It's nothing special, but people try to use that as a scare tactic, and I don't like it. So
you could also just go get a block of mouse poison. Sorry for all the animal people out there, but
you can also get a pest control company, and I know some great pest control companies also. Some local owned pest control companies. So that's the one thing I want to tell. The other thing is that, you do have people that are building houses. And the one thing that I see is that they do the standard of R49, but you can go up to an R60. You can go up to an R80. I do see where people make mistakes when they're buying or when they're building their dream home. And I tell people, don't make a 30-year mistake by not insulating your house, okay? Here's a very good tip. Make sure you insulate all your soil pipes. Make sure you insulate around your whole bathroom. Insulate the bathroom. Insulate all the walls for your master bedroom. Insulate your kids' master bedroom or your kids' bedrooms. You don't want to be eating dinner, hearing someone using the restroom because you didn't insulate the walls in your bathroom.
I like that one, even if you don't do the rest of them. Soundproof the bathrooms, especially a lot of the smaller houses. Right. Even the bigger houses, they put the bathroom like literally it's the other side of the wall from the dining room. So you're having Thanksgiving dinner and then I got to go take a dump and right next to everybody.
Yeah. So I tell people, make sure that whatever builder you're using, that you say, I want my master bedroom insulated. I want those interior walls insulated, because you're insulating for sound and for comfort, right? But the sound is the most important thing, because, mommy and daddy are playing basketball and you don't want the kids to know you're playing basketball. Okay. So it's just how it is. Or,
or a theater room.
Right now, everybody has to work from home. Well, I'm getting a ton of calls from, and I just got a call from a friend in Erie where she had her house built 3 years ago. And she's like, I'm feeling these cold drafts and I don't understand why. And I walked her through the things that you can do. Say that your interior walls weren't insulated, right? Before we do this thing, it's called drill and plug. I tell people to think about doing this if you're going to paint, okay? Or if, whenever you're removing a wall, whenever you're going to add an addition, think about insulation. Think about insulating in between your floors, okay? For sound, insulating your basement. And one of the biggest savings you can have right now is, and this is a little example I have. I hope, let's see, click on there. All right, so you can lose 25 to 35% of your heat loss through your roof, right? You can lose 15% through your blockers and runners. What is that? Your blockers or runners are your area in your basement. Go stay in your basement, look at your exterior wall right up at the top. If you don't have a finished basement, there should be insulation in each one of those little blocks, because that's going to save you 15%. And it's really, really easy to do. So I really
Could you put that up for one more time? Put that up again.
Yeah.
I want everybody to see that. So what was it? 25 out the roof, 15 out the bottom. So 40% out of the roof and the floor, and nobody thinks about that ever. Everybody just thinks windows, doors, never thinks about the rest.
All right, let's go over that one. So windows and doors. I had a call from a lady.
Look at that perfect segue. I didn't even try it.
Windows and doors. Now, everybody has their thing they do, and I respect what everybody does. However, windows and doors, you're losing 10%. Okay? I could come in and insulate your attic for less than the cost of a bay window that you're buying from one of the window and door companies. Done. And you're going to save between 25 and 35%. Wow. Okay.
If you already had R49 or better, if you just insulated, how is there a point of you don't need any more insulation?
Yes. And we go into houses, we do free estimates. So we were just in a house a couple weeks ago, and it was actually a friend of mine. He's a firefighter for Harrisburg. And I was so excited to help him. I was like, I can help you. And so my guy went up there and he popped his head up and he said, you have R49. You don't need anything else up here. And he was like, and some companies will go in and they'll do the wrong thing. And we just refuse to do that. But there is a point where we can't help you. And, we find that some with the horsehair plaster. We get that a lot, horsehair plaster. There's not enough space in between the walls for us to blow in the walls, which takes me back to drill and plug. So drill and plug, basically, I tell people to do this if you're going to paint that room, right? We come in, we drill the 2.5-inch hole in each of the cavities along the top and under the windows. We might do some random ones through the walls, and then we fill it with a big hose off of my big blowing machine with the same white insulation I showed you earlier, the white fiberglass. And then we come in and we put either a wood plug or a styrofoam plug. Sometimes we can blow in from the inside of the house. Sometimes we can blow in from the outside of the house. It just depends what the outside of the house is. If you have vinyl siding, sometimes we can do it that way. But I tell people that that's an easy way, especially if they're getting a lot of sound from the outside, or I live in Linglestown. And in Linglestown, we have all the houses over there. I live over by Judy Lane. All the houses over there have the same wood panel wall, right? There's no insulation behind that wood panel. How do I know? Because one winter I got upset. I ripped the whole thing out. I was so mad.
That's a good way to find out.
I was like, it's freezing, right? So, it's an easy way. We call it drill and plug. We just did a home for a homeowner, and he has a son that's on the spectrum. And they were trying to reduce the noise, and so we came in and we did the interior walls for them to come. And those are the things that just make me happy. I just love doing that stuff. Stuff. It just makes me happy. So
totally.
So yeah,
do you see this question we got here from Benton? I just want to do it before he jumps off, because people don't usually hang out for the entire episode, and I happened to catch this when he typed it. So hopefully he's still watching. Benton, what would it cost? And this was going to be one of my questions actually anyway. A roundabout cost. Obviously, you don't know everything about the typical house, but is there some kind of cost estimate you could give us for like a 2,200 square foot house?
Yeah, I mean, whenever somebody sends me a request like this, I look at it and I say, okay, I don't know what your house looks like. my guys have to get in between. All right, so if you look at this house right here, and I'm going to answer your question, but I just want people to understand. My guys have to get in this little area right here, okay? And they have to put in these things, which tons of houses around here don't have. They're called proper vents, right? These proper vent. So we put these, we have to get in there, and we have to put those in each of the eaves, in each of the bays of the eaves. Because what this does is it shoots the cold or warm air up to the roof line. And then we blow in right here, okay? So my guys have to get into those little spaces. So not all houses are created equal, all right? But I'm just going to say a rough estimate, and I'm going on the high side. We just had insulation. There is a shortage right now. It's very hard to get insulation. There is a shortage, and we just had an 8% increase. I would say on the high side, I would go with $1.70 a square foot. Now,
what was that? $1.70.
$1.70 a square foot. Now, let me caution you. I'm going a little bit on the high side, but I want to see the house because we can go in. I'm assuming you don't have any insulation there when I say that. Okay, I have to assume. I don't know if you have R11. I don't know if you have R19. I don't know if you have R30 up there already. So I'm going on the high side. I'm assuming you have no insulation, and I'm assuming you have no baffles and vents. So I'm going on the high side. But it's always a free estimate. And
even that doesn't sound that bad because his house is probably it's 2 stories. I'm assuming so. It's 1,100 square feet. So he's talking $1, so a couple $1,000 to get your whole attic retrofitted.
Yeah, it just depends on every house is different. You know, he's saying 2,200 square feet. I don't know if that's just a ranch.
And if it's a modern house that you can just walk up there and do what you got to do and not some weird,
Oh yeah, we have to go through a hole in the closet that is this big. But I mean, and he can always call, he can always text me. I will have somebody come out and look right away.
So what are some of the, that's going to be one of my questions too. What are some of the warning signs that somebody, I just put up, that's just a victory mindset. What's his actual name, Heather? You know this guy, right?
Anthony. Yeah.
Anthony. Yeah. I wanted to throw that up, a little shout out to him. I saw that come up in real time as well.
He actually, we're about to insulate his basement because there's zero insulation in his basement. And he has a newer home. And this is one of the things where I talk about people building their homes. Don't make a 30-year mistake by not putting in the insulation everywhere you need to put it in. Because once that wall is in, you know, I'm going to have to charge you more to drill and plug, right? The drill and plug, throwing in bats, bat insulation. This is bat insulation, right? This is bat insulation, right? Throwing in bats in an open wall is a lot less expensive than me coming in, taking my big truck out there, unloading the hose, chopping up the material, drilling all the holes. So when you're building your house, you want to make sure, again, the soil pipes, master bedrooms, the kids' bedrooms, even some soundproofing in between the floors. You want to make sure that you're soundproofing around all the soil pipes because that soil pipe could run right. You want to make sure that's all. You want to make sure you insulate around all of your hot and cold water tubing. There's a lot of things you can do. So don't. I see a lot of builders that will tell people to spend money here on, you know, I want this marble countertop. I want this certain light fixture. I want these certain. Stop. Get the bones correct. Get your bones right. Get your bones right first. Okay?
Yeah. Stop. Yeah. Get the higher ceilings in the basement. So when you do want to finish it, don't forget about, you can change the floors later. You can get new countertops. You can even change the whole kitchen or whatever. But like the structure of the house, probably not going to change. So put your money in that and the location. People don't.
Right. You want to insulate you want to insulate the floor. If you have an unfinished basement, you want to insulate the floor in between your unfinished basement and your first floor, because that's going to save you a ton of money on your heating and cooling costs. There's just a lot of things. And one of the things I do tell people, if you ever have any questions, you could call us and ask us. We're more than willing to give you information. And I do a lot of presenting to different organizations in our area. And I don't come out and say, oh, all in, and throw my business cards at you and everything. No. I tell people, use whoever you want. I'll tell you all my competition. I'm not on the competition, but I'll tell you all the other people who try to sell insulation. Use whoever you want. Just help yourself. That's how I look at it.
I mean, you provide tremendous value, so I'm sure people come to you all the
Right.
time. So what,
Right.
other than just noticing I don't have any insulation, or I know I don't have any insulation in this certain area, and that would be a warning sign if I need to get my insulation checked. What are some other warning signs? Like, is that true that, like, if there's snow on houses and there's one house that doesn't have any snow on it, maybe that's bad because there you go. Yeah. Like that. Are there other warning signs like that?
That is like the easiest thing to do right now. Okay, so everybody has snow. People look at it and they're like, oh, thank God the snow is gone. No, you want the snow to last forever on your roof. If your snow is staying up there, then you know you have great insulation. That means that the heat is not coming out of your second floor into your attic, melting the snow. When you were talking earlier about, icicles and ice dams, we used to do spouting, and people would call and oh, my spouting's broke. I have a spouting issue. No. You have an insulation issue. Okay. So if you're seeing icicles forming, that means that the snow is melting fast off of your roof and it's freezing before it gets down the drain. Okay. Down your gutters. So it's like my favorite thing to do after it snows. People go look at Christmas lights. I go look at who has snow on their roof and who doesn't.
That's business too. It's easy. Right? It's easy. You don't need an app or any data source or something. You just drive around after a snowstorm.
So this is like my neighborhood, right? Which I'm sure everybody in my neighborhood loves that, right? So see those roof lines?
Yeah.
Like, and you can look. Also, you want to look. Maybe the snow is just melting in one spot. Maybe you had some electrical work done and they didn't put that insulation back. So that heat is just rising right in that one area.
Could it have that big of an effect just when you move one flap of your batting insulation to do something and you forget? It could actually be that bad.
Yes, it definitely could. So you're sitting there and I drive around, I just look and I say, okay, this is perfect for me. I love it. All right, I thought I unplugged this really right there. All right.
You should take a picture of the person's house and then send them a mailer with a picture of it with like, you're losing heat right here, money
right
and a dollar.
Right here. But that's what I love doing the education part, because I get to go out and talk to people and just help whoever I can. So yeah, that's a definite showstopper. If you're having icicles and that sort of thing, you definitely want to give us a call.
Yeah, it screams bad insulation or no insulation or whatever. Do you have anything else before we go to our random question, before we go out, and we'll give everybody, make sure everybody can reach out to you. You have props up there. Are any of those other props, are they just sitting there to sit there, or are they ones you wanted to show us something with?
So one of the biggest things is, you were talking about windows and doors earlier. A lot of times these companies will come in and they'll put in new windows, but they don't seal around the windows correctly. All right. And you'll see that, a lot of people say, oh, I have old windows, I can feel the draft. It's not really a draft coming through the window. It's a draft coming around the seams of the window inside the wall, right? So we have just stuff that's window and door that we can use. You can use this. You can use this around, and you can buy this at Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. What people don't know is that you can, each of those little holes that are basically any hole coming out of your wall, like for your outlets, that sort of thing, your pipes, any of that. Each of those little holes adds up, right? A hole the size of this, a golf ball, is like having an air conditioner on in your house during the winter, okay? So you want to seal all those little itty bitty cracks and get that stuff squared away if you can.
I definitely notice in my house, I've noticed at outlets in particular, there's a draft right at this outlet, and then you got those little outlet insulator things. But for sure, I mean,
all right. So
there's one in particular that it just happened to be like in the airflow of our money sucking out of the house. This one outlet was terrible.
So that was another thing. That's a real easy way to see if your house is insulated in the walls, is you just take off that outlet cover. And if it was insulated, you should see the insulation around that box. You should see the fuzzies around the box. Another thing is, maybe you have a wall and you're like, next to your wall, and you're not sure. Well, maybe you have a nice big picture like this one right here, right? You have a big picture like that, and you can just make a little hole in the wall, like a little small itty bitty hole, and drill in there and see, and then cover it with the picture.
It's easy to spackle a little hole these days. The spackles are fantastic.
Well, you don't even have to use spackle. Back in the day, I used toothpaste. So,
Totally.
but anyway, so yeah, that's definitely an easy thing.
Are there a bunch of rental units out there in your past that have toothpaste spackled holes all over the walls? Still.
I'm telling you. Yeah, that was back in the day when I was young.
Before you bought the 3 houses.
Yeah, before I knew anything. But yeah, I think that's the most important. You have your renters, and if you're a renter, you approach your landlord. Say, hey, there's promotions out there. There's right now I think PP&L is offering where if you get your attic insulation updated, and I can definitely help you guys with that, whoever needs help with it. But you get your attic insulation upgraded, you can get, I think it was up to a $450 rebate. That's great. I can tell you a majority of the houses that I do where we upgrade the insulation in our area are definitely under $2,000. And your return on investment is about 1.5 years whenever you upgrade your insulation. Another place you want to look around is under your sinks, all those pipes. Just, I always have scrap insulation. I always have it. Heather, I need some stuff to insulate around my pipes. Give me a call. Like, I always have this. It's not scrap. I would put this in my own house, but I can't put this in a brand new house. Okay. So, those kind of stuff I look at. I'm not trying to take advantage of anybody. I want to make sure everybody has a fighting chance.
Yeah. And it's comfortable right away too. You don't even have to wait for the comfortability instead of it always being drafty or it's cold in this room and it's cold over here and all that. If the air is just sitting there and not moving away and going away, then it's going to be more comfortable and you're going to feel like you're saving money right away. Cause I know every time I have to go to the heater and hit the up arrow, that's money. So it feels right away. You're going to feel it. And that's not even that much. So you get 400 off this. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think PP&L is offering about 4 or 450 off for a rebate right now. And it just depends on who you use. Okay.
Yeah.
The one thing about that though, is where you're talking about the arrow. If you upgrade your insulation, you're going to improve the life of your heater and your air conditioners because they're not working as much. Now I get a lot of compliments from people that have used this and they're like, I don't ever hear my heater turn on anymore. So it always bothers me and I'm not trying to take business away from anybody, okay? But what I'm saying is it always bothers me when you have other trades that go into these houses and they see this stuff. I love it when I get a referral from a roofer. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love it when I get a referral from an HVAC guy. I give referrals too. But, to the people that work with me and that sort of thing, they see this stuff. That's one of the things that I'm really proud of is that my company, we work with Dauphin County Technical School. Like I am in those classes whenever I can get in there to talk to these kids, to teach them stuff. And, we need the trades so bad. Parents, my kids, my daughter, like she was phenomenal. All right. But not all kids are, college material. And, not all kids want to do that. My youngest son was
not to mention it costs a fortune and a lot of times is a big old waste of time. Right. Like where I went to Penn Tech, it was a technical school and it was like contracting was like one of the majors. And I was in I started in plastics engineering, but switched to business because I hated that. But anyway, it was a technical school and their placement rate is like 100%.
Right. No, I tell people, I'm like, just make sure that you are, we need the trade so bad. We need kids in the trade so bad. People complain right now about having, their electrician come out. It was $150. Okay. What's going to happen? We have a whole generation that's about to retire. People that need to pay attention. Both of my sons said to me, yeah, Mom, don't you still owe Penn State $60,000? Yep. I don't want to owe Penn State $60,000, Mom. Okay. And I'm very, very proud of them. I'm proud of what our trades do. I'm proud of these kids. Like they're amazing. And, just parents, let's be open-minded, I think. We put
apprenticeship programs and just a whole different way of thinking. People are going to have to change their mindset around that stuff. And you start your own business. I mean, some of the best business owners and people I know like yourself are tradespeople, and they run big. I mean, HVAC companies right now, I keep hearing in like entrepreneur and like investment stuff that HVAC companies are selling at some of the highest multiples of any business because it's something that everybody needs all the time. And a computer you can't call a robot to come to your house, climb up in your attic or in your basement, take your thing apart and look at and diagnose, and it just can't be done. So I love that you promote that. What did you say? You teach there, or you guest speak there?
I guess speak there, which I love it. You know, I just talk to the kids about just because you start out in life here, that's not where you need to end up. You make the decisions on where you end up in life, and I talk to them about how important it is to be in the trades, and you know, you can make a great living.
And you could work for yourself if you don't want to work for somebody. It's pretty easy to do that.
There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears with that, though. There's good
and you got to learn it and be a master first. But and you don't have to wear suits and ties or anything either. You don't have to do all that gobbledygook.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally. So do you have any tips? You mentioned windows. I want to go back to that real quick because I have a lot of people they look at old houses, and we even had one in particular that was a historic. It was on the Harrisburg Historic Registry. So you can do some stuff, but by the time you have to leave the exterior the way it was, and the expense of changing them and then putting that back, it's too much. So it drives the price of these houses down. So anyway, for houses like that, is there anything, because we were walking around thinking, can you just paint the crap out of all of it, or all the seams and everything, and just paint the thing closed and then get a storm window, which helps with some of the airflow and stuff? Can you make an old ass window? Damn, I swore last time. This is the second time I swore in an episode. I try not to. Can you make is there a way to make old windows newer? I mean, you held up that thing. That's not for the cracks in the actual like window casing or whatever itself. That's like in the molding around it or whatever.
This is the stuff we'll like put around the molding. This is going to go in the wall where you're not going to see it. What you're talking about is sealants. And yeah, you can do that. Remember I talked about that old, that wood wall I had? Well, what I did is, and this was before I owned the insulation company, I got so mad. I took this clear sealant and I like put it around every little crack in there. Like I cleaned the wall and I put the sealant in every little crack. And so that's the most you can really do with a historic window. Unfortunately, I'm not a windows person, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. But I would say that's probably your best bet, is to get the clear sealant and go around each of those little window panes and try to make it, you know, as clean as possible without having the expense of removing the window. But definitely there's an area that's where we can talk about the drill and plug, and we can actually seal up as much as we possibly can around that window by filling the wall with fiberglass insulation.
True. So, and I kind of wish an inspector was here right now, because when you can't open windows, that's not good for inspections or FHA or VA, any kind of inspection. So there's that too. But I wonder if does every window have to be able to open, or could you seal the crap out of every window except one on each floor to get out of, or one in each room?
No, you're gonna have to be able to open every window.
There's got to be a way to seal these old windows cheaply. Or maybe I should stop worrying about the windows and start worrying about the insulation in the attic and the floor more than the stupid windows.
You're going to save the most money there. I guarantee it.
And get a nice new energy efficient HVAC and all that kind of stuff helps too on all those bills. Yeah, cool. Anything else you want to add before I jump into and Google my fun question here?
The only thing I would want to add is, if there's anybody out there, I deal with a lot with realtors, and if there's anybody out there who would want me to come out and just kind of talk to their team and give them a little bit of education, I'm always available to do that. I love doing that. Like, I just love it. And if you belong to a great organization like the Rotary, you know, and you want somebody to come in and speak there, I can help with that. And if you ever have a question, you know, just send me a text. My phone number is available. Send me a text. Say, hey, do you have a home inspector that you would refer? And typically I'll refer 1 to 3, depending. And then I always tell people, if I refer them and it doesn't work out, please let me know, because I'll stop referring them. Like, I'm not out there to make myself look bad or anything like that. But right now, people are, there is an issue with the trades, and I do hear a lot of people say, well, nobody's getting back to me. It's not that we don't want to get back to you, or any business owner doesn't want to get back to you. There's just only so many hours in the day, and I always say, for me myself, until they start cloning Heathers, I'm kind of doing the best I can. So it's just, have a little bit of patience. There's a huge shortage of tradespeople out here trying to get stuff done.
Yeah, and the prices will continue to go up as people retire and there's nobody to do it. So encourage people to get out there and get these good jobs too. It's like medical jobs. They're always going to be there, and they're really good jobs. So before we close it out, what do I want to do first? Let's do the question first, because I want to show. Well, no, some people were commenting, so I wanted to put their comments up real quick. So you saw his. He said what's his name again? Anthony.
Anthony.
I wish he would put his name on there, because then Anthony, put your name on there, at least in parentheses or something.
He's a pretty good guy.
Benton did hear our answer to his question, so good there.
Yeah.
Little joke from Anthony. She provides our value, and you did value bombs all throughout the episode. Authentic, and somebody else, we don't see their name, but preach. Very good. And then somebody else before said, awesome. Love hearing a woman speak on this subject. So I also second that. That is awesome. Susan's a big fan of the show, and I appreciate you commenting, Susan.
Yeah,
are you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn. But you know what? It has all my corporate America stuff. I have to go out there and fix that.
I think I tagged you on there.
Yeah. That's where you're gonna see where I help build factories overseas. And now I barely want to touch a computer at all.
I hear you. And then the headshot you gave me, that's not you at all. It's a good shot. But
Thank you. I do know a good headshot guy. So if anybody needs a headshot, I could definitely reference that.
Awesome. So let's not go out yet. We got to do the random question. All right. So I did Google it. I Googled fun questions to ask at parties or something like that. So here's 3. I'm going to read 3. You can pick one. First one is, what celebrity would you rate as a perfect 10? Next one, what's a body part that you wouldn't mind losing? And the third one is, what is the dumbest way you've been injured? I can read them again, or if any speak to you. Celebrity, go ahead.
First of all, celebrities, I think, are a waste of time.
Okay, I like that.
I'm very blessed that God lets me have another day every day, so I'm not going to complain about my body. I think body image is an eternal thing, and I'm very grateful for that. Dumbest way I've injured myself. Okay, so I am clumsy. I have 18 pins and 2 titanium plates in my body. Okay, so
a clumsy tradesperson?
Yeah, well,
that should be a TV show.
Very, very careful. But so the dumbest way I injured myself was, I'm going to go with the second time I broke something, and I broke my arm. And I decided that I was going to clean the window in my bathroom. So I put my foot on the tub, and I was hanging on to the shower curtain rod, and I was going like this to clean like this. And the shower curtain rod fell, and I fell down, and my arm smacked the side of the toilet. Because, of course, with 2 sons, the seat was up, right? Smacked the side of the toilet. And if you ever want to know what it sounds like when you break this arm on the side of the toilet, it sounds like thunder striking in the toilet. Okay, so it smacked it, and I broke it right in half. It went like this, and I grabbed it immediately. I pulled it in, and I went to my partner, and I said, "We gotta go to the hospital now." And I swear he drove so slow, it was ridiculous. And I'm like, "Look, this is gonna start hurting at any moment. Please hurry up. Like, the adrenaline is good there. I'm good, but it's gonna start hurting." And so that is pretty much the dumbest way I've ever injured myself. So what that taught me is, don't clean.
Yeah, at least not like that.
Find someone to do that for me, because I'm obviously too clumsy to clean. So
we got some cleaning people referrals as well. I gotta stop saying that. There are some good cleaners in the area also, if you need any of that. Nice, I like that. That was a good one. And I also broke my right arm in basketball camp in like 5th grade, running backwards. I won the race. I fell, broke it, finished the race, and then looked down, and it was like that, like switched up like yours, like hanging off. And yeah, I think I blacked out after that. They put me to sleep to set it back into place, and I woke up right to hear the doctor say, all right, let's pop it back in place. And so I barely moved, I think, enough for them to see that I was awake and put me back under before they did it. So
yeah. I'm gonna leave out the story of how I'm gonna leave the story out of how I broke my leg on Mother's Day walking down the steps at my neighbor's house. Hi, Valerie and Craig. After drinking one too many twisted teas. Yeah, we'll leave that one alone.
Next episode, we'll do that next episode. Or DM Heather to get that information directly. So before we go out, tell everybody how they can find you, the website and your phone number, and anything else you want to tell them. And say it audibly so that people that might be listening to this on the audio later can hear it.
Okay, so the easiest way to get a hold of me is via phone. You can either leave a message or text me. Texting is always preferred because I don't answer the phone if I'm driving or I'm on a job site or with a customer. So texting always works out well. My phone number is 717-798-5970. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us. It's always a free estimate. You can also find us on Facebook. We are under all-in insulation, and we have a little mascot, a little guy wearing a snow hat and little.
He's up there in the corner. Man, I never point the right way.
I love that guy. He's like my favorite. I'm not pointing the right way either, but he's like my favorite. That's one of my long-term dreams was that mascot. So I'm like very excited about that. And we're also on the web, www.all-in-insulation.com. So it's all-in insulation.com. And so the thing about going all in is I love it. The name came from playing poker. I play Texas Hold'em, so it's like going all in poker. But I also look at it as I'm going all in for your family. Here at All In Insulation, we're world changers. We're out here trying to change the lives of our community, one person, one family, one business at a time. And it really is important to us. So I go on for our customers every single time.
And it makes an impact. What you do makes an impact immediately. It keeps people comfortable. It makes them happier in their house. I think it's great. And it saves them money over the long run, and something that people overlook and never think about. But yeah, it's one of those things, especially with a new home, that nobody ever cares to think about at all.
Right. That's why I love doing what I do, because looking back at my life with those 3 houses, had I known what I knew about insulation, I would have been able to afford to take my kids on vacations, or, being a single mom with 3 kids for all those years, I was just doing the best I can. And I think about the thousands and thousands of dollars I wasted every year, and it drives me crazy now. But all I can do is, help people. And that's why it's all full circle. It's all circle.
Yeah. That's why we're here now. And let's tell everybody how they could get in with you and get a little bit off if they want to up the R value of their house. Right. I love the promo code. I told everybody to write it down, right? But tell everybody what you're offering.
All right. So what we're offering is we always do 5% off for military. So you just let me know about that ahead of time. We support our military always. But we're also offering $50 off any job that's under $1,000, or $100 off any that's over $1,000. All you gotta do is give me the promo code R49 when you message me, and it's a done deal. And just let me know, and it's always a free estimate. When we come out, we're not going to be those people. My guys have to get in and get out because we have schedules, okay? But we're not going to come out. You're not going to have to find a way to get me out of your house, all right? We come out, you call, we make an appointment with you. We come out, we take measurements, we answer your questions, and then we leave. We leave. The only reason we're staying is because you won't stop talking to us, okay? So we leave, and you'll get your quote within 48 hours via email. That's the only thing we use the email for. We use it to send out our proposals and our invoices. If you don't get the proposal within 48 hours, please check your junk mail, because sometimes having a name like all-in-insulation.com, it goes right to junk mail. So people think I'm trying to, scam you for some poker games. I don't know. But it's just, that's what we do. We're not going to sit there and try to make you sign while we're there. We don't do that. ever, 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 ever. And if one of my guys does, please call me.
Somehow I don't think any of them would dare do that, and I bet they're all awesome.
Yeah. My
And
son,
I could.
he's not gonna do that.
And you're obviously, you know exactly what you're talking about. So if anybody has any questions about any of this stuff, please reach out to Heather in All In Insulation. I'm going to leave up the ticker and do my announcements. Please hang out here while I do my announcements. I had one or two guests that dropped out here afterwards, so I don't want an empty place next to me. So we're going to do announcements. If you're interested in a business spotlight package, similar to what you're seeing here with Heather, we didn't do the business interactive thing with Greg, but typically with a real business spotlight package, Greg would be at the business trying it. Maybe we could do that when it gets nicer out. Greg could climb in an attic with you or something. And then you get an interview here with me, and then a networking mixer at your business if that suits your business and COVID permitting, all that stuff. So if you're interested in a business spotlight package, it looks like she left anyway. Didn't even try to. If you're interested in that, go to supportcentralpa.com. At supportcentralpa.com, you can also find all our special offers and join our email list to get the special offers, which will include her special offer here and some other good stuff going on. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, YouTube, or somewhere other than Facebook, please head over to Support Central PA. Central PA Supports Small Business Facebook group and join us there. And a reminder that in 3 minutes from now at 1 to 2 o'clock, Central PA Small Business Connect on Clubhouse. I am at Agent Derek on Clubhouse. Follow me so you can get all the notifications. Click that little bell so you can get notifications when I do stuff. And like I said, we will be there in 3 minutes. So that's why I'm trying to talk even faster than I usually talk. See you there in 3 minutes. She's officially gone. Goodbye, Heather, for her. Everything there. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you later. And thank you so much for everybody that commented and interacted today. We really appreciate it. See everybody next time. Later.